What's going on? I'm Eric from Lean Labs, and listen, when I first established my LLC, one of the first things that started happening is I started getting a lot of calls from tax consultants. I mean, a lot of calls. And one company in particular was very persistent. They were calling so that I can get my free tax consultant session. And I had scheduled a meeting, but never really followed through, but they just kept calling. But see, here's the thing. I actually was a lead. I did need help with my taxes. It was my first year as a business owner. I had no idea what I was doing. But see, the way they pursued me made me feel like that I was doing them a favor. And I didn't feel like doing them any favors. I didn't trust them. I felt like they were only trying to sell me something. So at the end of the year, when I had to sit down and find a good tax consultant, they weren't on the list. I'm willing to bet that for some of you, this story sounds familiar. You found the perfect lead. It's the perfect product market fit. They're in need of your services, but for some reason, they're still not scheduling that meeting and they're still not taking the next steps you want them to. But why? You all should be a match made in sales heaven. I'll tell you why. In this video, we're going to help you understand how to execute the acquisition stage of the pirate metrics to keep your sales team from wasting their time and you from turning off good leads with pushy sales tactics. In our first video in the pirate metrics, we talked about awareness. If you haven't seen that video, you can click here. In this video, we're going to discuss the acquisition stage. And in the acquisition stage, we're trying to do two main things: define and continue. Define because of all those who have seen your offer and indicated some type of interest still might not be a good fit. This is also known as a market qualified lead, or an MQL. A market qualified lead is a lead who's shown interest in your product or service, but also meets predefined criteria that proves they're a good fit for your product or service. A good example of this would be with the tax consultants. A lot of people have probably seen that offer, but the moment I clicked on it and indicated interest, I became an MQL. But here's the thing that we have to remember. This stage is about defining. Just because someone clicks on your CTA doesn't mean that they're interested in your offer or that you can help them or that you would even want them as a client. What you need here is clarity. For example, let's say your business helps US-based businesses with 500 or more employees. And someone overseas with 80 employees responds to your CTA, or someone just doing research. There's no reason that these leads should be forwarded over to your sales team. Just because people are responding to your CTA doesn't mean that they are a right fit. So in a case like this, when you're setting up your CTA, it might be good to add some qualifying questions at the end. Where are you based? How many employees do you have? Not a whole questionnaire, but just a few questions to help you understand if this person can benefit from your services. So in this case, when they show sales intent, let's say booking a demo, requesting a call, you can say to your sales team, here are leads that are US based with more than 500 employees that have responded to our CTA. That's a marketing qualified lead. Once you have a proper MQL, you can start the next stage within acquisition, and that is continuing. And just a word of caution here, this is where sometimes in the traditional marketing mind state that we can confuse continuing with forwarding. You just forward all the MQLs over to the sales team and they start calling and emailing. And this is what happened to me. But I would like to offer a better way: nurturing. You have an opportunity to nurture these MQLs with helpful information and content, establishing trust. Again, let's take that tax consultant company. Instead of he clicked on this, let's start calling. Why not nurture with helpful and engaging content? Content like top mistakes that first-time business owners make and how to avoid them. How to find out tax laws in your state. Whether it's blogs or videos, sending real helpful and engaging content establishes you as reliable, trustworthy, and wise. If this had happened come tax season, it would have been against my own self-interest not to reach out to them because they would have already established that they could help me. Again, acquisition is about defining and continuing, or you can say defining and nurturing. So as you sift through the leads in the acquisition stage, begin to think about how you can help and nourish those MQLs to continue through their buyer's journey. All right, so let's continue this conversation below. Share any ideas you have for defining and nourishing MQLs. If you enjoyed this content, make sure you hit it with a like button. If you found it helpful and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe. All right, until next time, keep growing.